You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to and hopefully watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is 1/11/2021. Great day for me. Just got informed of the birth of my second grandson, and he's a healthy little guy. 8 pounds, 12 ounces, 21 inches, even a little bit bigger than I was at birth. And my daughter is much smaller than my mother was. So and she's happy. She's relieved. Everyone's healthy. It went great. Hey, well, there's so much going on in the world, and we could pick so many different topics, but cryptocurrencies have been at the forefront of the chaos that we've seen throughout society, whether it's economic, whether it's political, geopolitical. There are so many things that are driving cryptos higher, and a lot of it you aren't even aware of because it's taking place overseas. If you're a wealthy Chinese person right now, and you're looking at Jack Ma, one of the wealthiest guys in the world, and it appears that China is hell-bent on nationalizing Alibaba. And I guess, problem with governments is they can never have enough post offices to run. And you know how well they run post offices. Doesn't matter where in the world you are, the government runs it. It's a mess. I mean, it's a miracle that you get a piece of mail. In fact, do you even get mail? I use a UPS store because mainly it's my Amazon deliveries. Everything else comes, electronic. The bills come electronic. They get paid electronic. If I write 2 checks a month, it's a lot. My point here, this digital transformation is big, and it's leading to super amounts of volatility when you combine it with the fact that there is a perception of a global war on private wealth. And today alone, Bitcoin down 30%, which is probably an average day for Bitcoin. Our good friend is with us now, Noble Drakoln. Noble, you've been with us before, and I want to get your take. What is going on here with Bitcoin, cryptos? And we saw gold get slammed, but it came back. But what's the deal here with the crypto space?
You know what? It's crazy, Kerry, and thanks a lot for having me back again. Congratulations on your birth of your grandson. So that's exciting. As someone who has 5 children, I appreciate every new life coming into the world. There's all this crazy stuff happening. Is good when someone brand new is coming to hopefully make it better. So
we could only hope and pray, Noble. We
got to start somewhere. That's all we got is hope and prayer, right? So
it starts in the mind and the heart. And
exactly.
Again, not to wax all religious or metaphysical, but true change can only come about in one's heart. And
listen, what do we have? We don't have religion, though, Kerry. I mean, you can be what you want to be, and I'm happy for everyone's specific belief. But Psalm 23 has been my main bellwether during this time all day. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me. And so this has been my big driver through all of it, whether Bitcoin drops 30% or whether, whatever outcomes happen in governments and the like. I've been a proponent and a fan of Alibaba since the 90s. And then all of a sudden, you see them go public, and now the government wants to nationalize it. And I get it in some respect, and most people don't realize this. In Korea, all the K-pop stars are actually owned by the Korean government. They're considered what's known as a national treasure, and a lot of people aren't aware that those people really don't have lives in and of themselves. They are actually representative of the Korean government. So maybe that's just how it's done on that side of the world.
So great.
Right. So I look at what's happening with blockchain. I look what's happening with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's kind of interesting how this is all intersecting at the same time that governments, central governments, are planning to put out their own currencies. It's all happening at the same time as, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, as the number of nodes for Bitcoin that can mine Bitcoin are going to start decreasing. And so you're starting to find that there's going to be an evolution in digital currencies. It's not going anywhere because there's tons of altcoins, there's DeFi, there's non-fungible tokens. But the idea of the Bitcoin, maybe its days are numbered, to be honest. Maybe, if you can't transfer it and you can't use nodes and there's no place to put it, and on top of that, let's be frank, 7% of all Bitcoin is mined in China. So, where they have unlimited resources, unlimited hardware, unlimited access. So I wonder if that perception over time will start changing how people view Bitcoin as well.
Okay. When Jack Ma's fortune isn't safe in China, then Bitcoin's going to blow out. And any other means of sucking wealth out of that country is going to go. I mean, Jack Ma is the symbol, the real driver of the whole wealth building generation in China. And if he's gone, if they view him as disposable, then nobody is safe for sure. Well, that's going to play itself out one way or the other. I do find it kind of fascinating, the volatility, though. And we're seeing the volatility in all aspects of markets and of economies. Now, the question is, they slammed gold last week. Last Friday, it's down, $63. It was down today, and then it had a reversal. It's down a little bit now. Is there an effort underway by the powers that be to portray or to create the perception that everything else is screwed up, but the stock market is your friend? It can only go up. It's going to be fine. Do you think that's what they're trying to do? Paint the tape here on a massive scale?
Don't just survive. Thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Today's show is brought to you by Mustango River Resources. Their flagship projects are located in Kirkland Lake, an established gold camp that has historically produced over 70 million ounces of gold. The Kirkland West project is a high-grade gold project beside Kirkland Lake Gold's world-class Mikasa gold mine, one of the highest-grade mines in the world. The Umeja project is an advanced stage project with 600,000 plus ounces of gold along the Cadillac Break, 25 kilometers east of Mikasa. Their projects have the potential to transform into another world-class mining camp in the Kirkland Lake District. Make sure you go over to Mustango.com. That's Mistango.com. Take a look and sign up for notifications. Stock is traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange, ticker symbol MIS. For more information and to sign up for notifications, go to Mustango.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
So, whenever I talk to you, Kerry, you wrap all these great ideas in one bundle. And so let me unravel it because you hit the nail on the head. So, we have gold that if it were not for digital currencies, gold technically should be at anywhere from 5,000 to almost 10,000 ounce. I'm a classic gold bug. That was the core space for flight to safety based on both inflation and what's happening in the economy. Gold has been suppressed. And again, and some of your viewers don't know this, but I was a long-time commodities trader for almost 28 years. I've written 7 books on commodities trading. The last 2 were Winning the Trading Game and Trade Like a Pro. And I talk about how, and I even wrote I wrote for the CME, I wrote the white paper for E-mini gold. So it's interesting that what they do in order to kind of stagnate gold is they increase the margin cost in the commodities market for you to actually buy the gold on margin. So they'll rebalance it, they'll make it more expensive to hold gold, and then that'll force companies and businesses to liquidate their gold on hand in order to rebalance their portfolios. Well, what a lot of people don't also know is that Bitcoin is now traded on the commodities exchange. There's options, there's futures contracts, and there's similar margining measures in place to can also control and throttle Bitcoin. So, Kerry's, just to be clear, I know you're not talking from some kind of wild theory. This is what they do in order to make sure that stocks seem more attractive. to get people to be interested. You make the margins more expensive. People have a difficult time holding on to it on margin. So then they run to the stock market. The biggest concern and why they're doing it, because you can't separate stocks from politics, is we've still got, what is it, another 14, 15 days of a transition of power in the United States that are going on. We don't know what's going to happen post a Democratic United States, both the Senate, the House, the presidency. We have no idea what that looks like. And so I wouldn't put it past them, Kerry. I wouldn't put it past anyone to kind of rebalance the sheet to make it look like the economy is still great, even though we just got a new numbers just a few days ago saying that more people are unemployed.
Yeah, pretty interesting, which just shows we've hit the limit of stimulus, or maybe we have to have nonstop stimulus to keep the illusion of an economy in place. Hard times ahead, and there's going to have to be this reset. I don't want to use the reset from the globalist standpoint, but the whole system itself is failing. And if there's one thing that COVID has done, has shown the economic failures that it reminds me, Noble, like before 1929, there were all these companies. Everyone thought they were doing amazing, making huge amounts of profits. And then when we did a retrospective after the Great Depression, we found out that these companies were, in fact, not profitable. They may have been nominally profitable, but they were cash flow losers. And I think what COVID has done is blown the lid off of all of these zombie companies all over the world, not just the United States, Europe, Asia, China, you name it. There's all these companies that have just been turning dollars over, haven't been really making any money. And maybe the epicenter of this is China, because the fraud, there's no effort to subdue or moderate fraud. I've always said you have to be crazy to buy a Chinese company, because honestly, I could put numbers on paper that would be truer than their numbers. I mean, how can you believe what they've got there on their balance sheets? They don't go for GAAP. It's hard enough to believe American companies and European companies, because we know what's available to do there. Generally, they're not saying we've got 10,000 tons of gold, but really it's fake gold. We don't have that. And if they say we have $1 billion in the bank, generally you could say that they do have $1 billion in the bank, but they mess around plenty. But when you look at China, it's the Wild West or the Wild East.
Well, it's a paper tiger scenario, right? That it looks good on paper, but in reality, the tiger has no claws. There's nothing there. And so we always have to be concerned with that. And it's the same thing. I've done such a huge in the tech company that we build mobile games, our portfolio company. We're focusing more on non-fungible tokens, which are collectibles, because we know things are changing in the big crypto space. Psychologically, we're looking at Tencent, which is really one of the largest mobile app companies in the world, which is out of China. If what happened with Jack Ma in the nationalization of his profit center is happening, I'm very curious what's going to happen with some of these major companies. Tencent bought huge music royalties. They've changed how people look at gaming, and I'm just curious what this really bodes for all these companies that we did invest in that weren't necessarily paper tigers, Kerry, that were really generating income. Tencent generates hundreds of millions a day off of video games. I don't know what this looks like if this idea of repatriation is if it's going to be such a negative thing to harm everyone, because all of us have got Chinese apps on our phones. I mean, it's kind of crazy what's going on. But more importantly, when you look at the financial aspect, every company that we were so excited about, Airbnb, Lyft, all these companies that are still pushing for public IPOs and all this stuff, I'm kind of curious, are we really heading into the roaring 20s again, right? The roaring 20s and the 1920s, because in 29, we discovered they were bad, but they all got their start in the roaring 20s, 21, 22, 23. Are we seeing that same cycle happen all over again, where these companies are pushing out, looking great, we're social media, we're doing this, we're doing that, and then the impact hurts us so much more because they're being propped up by both the government or people's just unsustainable belief that things can never be bad, even though visually we all see that we have.
Hey, that's so true. No question about it. Yeah, I could really talk to you for a day just on that subject, Noble, but we got to go now. Just tell us, where do we find you? How do we connect with you on the web?
Easiest way to find me is linkedin.com. Find me there, Noble Drakoln. If you want to see our games, just visit whereplaygames.com. And overall, find me on Kerry's show. I got
cool.
out, so just reach out.
I love it. Hey, anyways, any questions or comments for Noble, myself, you should email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, Twitter feed @KerryLutz, Facebook page, Financial Survival Network. Sign up on our website for our free newsletter. Got one going out tomorrow. I know it's been a few weeks, but I've been infirmed. But now I am up, I am energetic, and I am producing more than ever. So just email us, kl@kerrylutz.com. Noble, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Kerry. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, we're going to have you on again real soon. I want to discuss those zombie companies and where we're really heading here. And,
absolutely.
Hey, you be well.
You too, brother. Bye now.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.